Alright, this video here is just building on the previous one. We're just going to take a quick look at another pattern here. Have a look at the one below here. We've just built a series of squares as the pattern progresses. And I want you to have just a quick think. Feel free to pause the video and have a go at explaining what is going on here with this pattern. If you're struggling for things to come up with, at the bottom of that other example that we looked at, the previous one, we started to put some values in a table, which is going to help us have another look at exactly what's happening here. So up top here, we've got how many squares we have in the pattern, and then down here we have how many sticks that we use for the pattern. So for one square, we've got 4 sticks. For 2 squares, we've got 7 sticks. For 3 squares, we've got 10. 4 squares, 5 squares, we're not too sure just yet. Now, we don't need to see that pattern anymore to have a look at this here, but we're going to look across what's happening this way first, then we're going to have a look at and try and explain what's happening as we move down the table. So from 4 to 7, we're adding 3, and as I said in the last video, it's a linear relationship, so it should be a constant increase, and we should see a pattern here, which we are at the moment. Now, if we were to add 3 again there, 13, adding 3 there, and we have 16 matchsticks in the 5th sequence. Now, if you want to go and check that, you're more than welcome to go and draw the sequence and just prove that if you like. Now that we've explained what's happening when we go across, okay, in terms of how the sticks are increasing, let's have a look at what's happening when we are moving down here now. To get from 1 to 4, okay, we could take 1 square and we could add 3 sticks to it to get 4. Okay, that works for this one. If we were to try it for this one here, we would be taking 2 squares, adding the same thing to it, but we only get 5, which is not true because we need to get 7. So this one here is not going to work. Alright, so let's get rid of this and let's try something else. To get from 1 to 4, I'm going to look at taking 1 square, I'm going to multiply it by 3 and then add 1. Okay, so 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1 equals 4. That works. Now to get from 2 to 7, if I take 2 squares, multiply it by 3, and add 1, I get 7, which is fine. Okay, so it's working so far. If I was to take 3 squares, multiply it by 3, and add 1, 3 3s are 9 plus 1 is 10. Seems to be working. Okay, let's just check the remaining 2. If we take 4 squares, times it by 3, and add 1, we get 13. 5 squares, times it by 3 plus 1, we do actually get 16. Now what this enables us to do, if I was to go and extend this table by one more section, and I was to ask you to find how many matchsticks in the 15th sequence of that pattern, okay, we could essentially use what we have done here to try and find that out. So let's have a go. If we had 15 squares, over here we times it by 3 and then added 1, which we can see here. That didn't change the whole way through. So 15 times 3 is 45 plus 1 is 46. And we would be able to say now that in the 15th sequence we have 46 matchsticks. Now you would be able to do that for any value in terms of how many squares